Beep. What is up, ninjas? My name is Sam World and I make sound design and music production videos for dance music here on YouTube. Now you want to sound like Eli Brown? Well, this is the video for you because I swear to God, guys, I should get sued for this remake. It's not that it sounds good, it's just that it's a Walmart Dollar Tree sort of remake. Now the purpose of these remakes, guys, is for you guys to click on the video, but at the same time for you guys to learn from them. Now again, I'm not lying when I say it's a Walmart sort of Dollar Tree version of the Eli Browns Believe track, which is a sick track, by the way. But again, it's just dissecting a few things down so that we can learn from it. Now, I know your time is valuable, so here's the remake that we're going to be looking at to see if it's up to your standards. Now, as always, guys, if you want to support my work, make sure to head over to evilsounds.com where you can find all of my sound design work. The sounds in this tutorial are going to be found in Paradox Volume 3, which is going to be a brand new sound bank coming out next week for the style of techno. Paradox has been one of my best techno packs out there with the likes of Hardwell, Umix, Sam Wolf, Joy Hauser using it. So make sure to check that series out. And with that being said, let's get started with this video. Now, the drums in this remake are not going to be up there in terms of like an actual remake of the track, but there's a few things that I did want to talk about them because I found interesting stuff that is occurring in this track after dissecting it with my magnifying glass and getting deep in there. When you hear the Eli Browns track, which I'm not going to play, you hear it on headphones, even on a good monitor system, there's something weird going on with the kick. And what I mean by that is that there's a bit of accentuation going on with it. And the accentuation is panned to the right, I believe, which is super weird. Eli, do you have a problem with left ears or you just have a right ear fetish? But I ain't kidding, guys. Go check out the track if you want. Pause the video, check it out, and you'll see what I mean. So again, I'm going to have here an evolution of sound kick. Again, it's probably not the right kick we would want for the remake, but whatever, you know, save time. Time is valuable there. But the cool thing is that it's weird because the kick also has that top layered kick, which again is panned to the right a bit. So then it's going to sound like, I swear, guys, go check it out. It sounds better in the track, of course, especially with a lot more stuff going on, but I promise you, it is there. Now, the other cool thing about this is the fact that when the kick accentuates, it goes away when the next kick hits, and then we get the clap. So then the combination of this is something really cool, in my opinion, which is going to sound like this. Again, this is the Dollar Tree version, which I find really cool because if I have that kick just going on top constantly, then it doesn't interact as good. But again, if we go back to what we had before, where we have pretty much, it sounds a little bit nicer to our ears. Now, again, this is something that you can hear in the track, and again, maybe Eli can give some input on that, but I found it really neat and very different. Like when I was trying to remake this track in the 30 minutes I had left, I was just like, yeah, is this going on? Did I lose hearing on my left ear? Like, now the last thing I want to talk about in the drums, because again, I don't really want to go down the list of like there's an open hat in the track and whatnot, is pretty much the clap. The clap has this sort of accentuation that we've talked about in previous videos on this channel on how to make your drums sound better and what are the little things that the pros do that you don't, and one of those is accentuation. So again, you can debate that the kick thing is accentuation, but the cool thing about the clap now that we can get into is the fact that the first clap is going to be, let's say, normal pitch, while the second clap in the track sounds like it's a little bit lower pitch, and it's going to sound like this. What is the purpose of this damn tutorial? You're watching this going like, yes, and I think you're going crazy. Nah, the purpose is the fact that this makes it a lot more interesting to listen to this stuff. Don't worry, guys, it's okay to look. Now, rolling bass. Now, I know some of you guys want to get to the lead, and again, you can skip to it. I'll leave timestamps and whatnot. But the bass, the rolling bass, there's a couple of things to note by them. They're very simple to make. A lot of the times, you know, I say just go in, you're going to draw in a 116 pattern. This track is an A sharp, so that's all it is, and there you go. Now, the rolling bass is going to be 2 layers because there's only one way to get that low end as fat as Eli Brown got it in them murky waters. So it's going to be 2 layers. And the cool thing about having 2 layers is, one, you have a little bit more control on the top bass, allowing the sidechain not to hit it as hard. So that way it can pop out a lot more in the track while still maintaining super powerful, strong low end. So let's talk a little bit about the top layer. In all honesty, it's a very simple sound, and simple is always going to be best, guys, because the moment you overcomplicate some of this stuff, you start losing power in exchange for interesting sounding, and we all know interesting sounding is not always the best. So the first bass we're going to make is a top bass, and again, it's going to be a very simple saw bass, but there are a couple of things that you have to do to get it right, okay? Now, in a traditional rolling bass, I recommend, if you're in one voice, to always put your random phase down to 0%. The reason for this is you're always going to start where the yellow mark is at, but if you put this up, you're going to see there's this yellow kind of P looking outcast. That just means that random phase, you can start anywhere in between this yellow piss. And I don't know about you guys, but I like my life to be a little predictable, so that way I'm ready for anything that comes my way. So RM phase down, but no, in reality, it's because the bass will always sound strong. If I put this up, you can hear how it's differing in certain hits. And again, if I really get rid of the sidechain and just get rid of the EQ8 we have, you can hear how it's all over the place. And now when we have the low end like this, we always want 100% power. Now, in this track, however, there is a bit of width to the bass. So if I want to add width to any sound, the first thing I'm going to do is add my unison up to 2. That gives us 2 saws now. And in order to have a left and a right, we need to have 2 channels. Okay, yeah, and a little bit of detunement, so that way we get organic width. We don't have to use the Haas effect. Again, we can create organic width. There we go. Okay, now from there, it's fine if we don't have the RM phase down, because if we do have it down, we're going to cause this a mono sound. So it's up to you. You can add it a bit up. So that way, again, you don't have to go 100%. There is a bit of in between. So that way you have the wide bass, but always have constant, again, power. From there, we're going to use a low pass filter, and we're going to route our envelope 2 to our low pass cutoff. Now, this is where psytrance artists are made, as I say. This is where they're born, in the fucking womb and shit. And the main reason is because this is where you make it or break it. If you don't put the right settings, the bass is going to sound mierda, as we say in Spanish. So you got to make sure to get this right. So again, in order to execute this, no sustain, 0.00%. And then from there, it's all about your decay. Okay. From there, your envelope 1, if you have it at 100% on the sustain, you can kind of see how you're not rolling like the psytrance artists are, like Asterix or Vini Vici, until you get something that you like. It's really that simple. From there, you know, don't worry about this. I'm just using an EQ to get rid of low end. You can do your normal processing that you want to do, but as long as you nail that, you should be fine. And from there, we're going to put this EQ, because again, we're going to be using a sub bass. Now we have that. Okay, cool. So we got the roll bass. Now we have the sub bass. Now the sub bass is very interesting for me. Now, a lot of the things I've been teaching my students, because I do have students, if you ask, it's over at patreon.com. Just look up Sam World Music and you will find it. But from there, pretty much we have 2 saws. And I feel like most people have the misconception that sub basses need to be sine waves for some reason, and you're just shooting yourself in the foot. So most of the time I tell my students you're not allowed to use a sine unless you want to sign in the track, like a little beep, 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 boop, bop melody. The reason is that you can turn any sort of saw square into a sub bass as long as you're doing subtractive synthesis, which is the whole point of Serum Silent. Again, with the filter, you're removing the overtones to get that. Okay. Now, the reason I tell my students not to use science is because a lot of them will sometimes use the keys of D, E, or C, and then you run into issues because you can't really hear those frequencies. For instance, here, if I do it, you can barely hear that, right? However, if we get those nice mid-lows, you would say. Then from there, we're going to layer this saw up an octave to give us even more midtones, and now we have a very juicy one. From there, RM faces go down on these guys, and from there, phase does matter. And if you use my presets, you know I have some modulations here. And the reason for that is you don't want polar opposites. Because again, the starting position of your saw will matter a lot. You don't want to do like an opposite, or you don't want to start at the weakest part. So you got to make sure that. So very important to be on top of that. From there, the sub bass, you definitely want it to have the shape of the other sound. But again, since it's a sub bass, we're really not going to add an envelope to open up the low pass cutoff. Instead, we're going to just shape the sound itself with low sustain, 50%, and a bit of decay. So that way together, And then in my great song, the lead. This is probably the only reason some of you guys are watching the video. So if you skipped from a timestamp to here, hello. Hopefully you watched the damn ad and supported the boy. If not, evilsounds.com. Anyways, guys, the lead is probably why you guys are here, and it's going to sound like this. And now the lead is going to be doing, as I like to call them, horse gallops. It's a technique that I used a lot in trance back in the day. They would make melodies where it would be something like this, and then they would do melodies like, yeah, not like that, but you get the idea. And pretty much the idea of it is that you create the trance gallops, sort of like Shogun and like all these guys back in the day again. Now, in order to create a lead like this, and we're going to make it from scratch again, I don't want to go over the patch. That way I can explain my reasoning behind it. It's going to be pretty simple. You can start with a saw or a square. Either one really works. But from there, we're going to utilize a bandpass. The reason for the filter is to shape the sound. So we're just going to go with a band 24. Go as low as we can go to the floor. And then from there, we're going to shape it with an envelope that's going to open it up. That's the other one. Okay, so we got to shape it. From there, we're going to use a very heavy form of distortion. Okay, you kind of seen where we're going, but let's go with maybe a tube. So again, the reason this works here, because you might be going like, I saw this before and they never sound like that sound. It's just the fact that we're using a filter to shape the sound, and as it goes into distortion, it is affected by it. But from there, you can kind of play around with. From there, we are going to EQ it and maybe add a bit of highs to bring it to life. From there, let's try adding a filter maybe after the distortion and regain some of the dynamics back. From there, we are going to use a pitch envelope, which is a really cool technique just to give the sound either one, a reverse effect or a punchy effect. Made very popular by Martin Garrix back in 2013 era with Animals, but we're just going to put it to the chorus, move it to the right. And from there, we get very close to it. And if you're a noob, you can put OTT if you want, because that sounds very unnatural and you wouldn't want to do that. But this is the theory behind creating the lead. Okay, now as we go to the main one, which is making the cut in the pack, again, we're using a saw. The square is really not doing nothing. It's there if you want to layer it in. Now, the cool thing about utilizing the bandpass filter is that we can also modulate it. Which gives us a very acid-based sound, as you can hear. So the cool thing about this is I showed this thing on my Instagram, and a lot of people really liked it. But the idea is, again, you can do a lot of really cool modulations. Here, the module is being routed to a couple of things, 6 things. Envelope 1, release, this decay, release, reverb. I think the EQ low end is getting pulled up a little bit. And then again, at the same time, the cutoff can move. Vocals. Okay, it's time to talk about the vocals if you guys care. Now, when it comes to the vocals, this is what they sound like without really any processing, okay? And again, it's around the same ballpark, but there's no plugin out there that's going to make me sound like Eli Brown in Murky Water, like I said before. So I got to try my best with my voice. And I do have a Mexican accent, English accent, which is fine. Believe in something. Why not believe in my presets? Yeah, we're not going to say that word too much because I'm going to get, yeah. So we have that recording, which I've done. Again, I think the most important thing when it comes to vocals is delivering it. A lot of people expect their vocals to sound badass when they sing like, believe in something. Why not believe in me? Like they're going to be able to salvage it in a way. No, you have to deliver the vocal first before you start doing any form of processing. It's like if you get a vocalist and she's like, I love you. instead of love you, and delivers it really good how you want it. So it's always at the source, okay? Once you have the source, you can do Auto-Tune Pro, which is a bit hefty. Melodyne is way better because you have like the $100 version, which is a lot more friendlier. And you can do the same thing, just get everything in key. From there, I'm using this compressor. The main reason is just to get it to sound, most of the voices sound loud. Believe in something. Why not believe in my preset? Without it, believe in something. Why not believe in my preset? So again, just trying to get the dynamics of the vocal, aka the quietest part and the loudest part, to be up there, pretty much leveling it, leveling the playing field. From there, Maggie Q to give a bit of air. Believe in something. Why not believe in my preset? Okay, yeah, chill out, send. And from there, we have an audio effect rack, which is gonna pretty much be the reason you're watching this part of the video. Believe in something. Why not believe in my presets? Believe in something. Now from there, there's a couple of things. We do have to cut out the low so it sounds sort of close to what we want it to. But the plugin that's creating most of the magic is going to be A-Box Choir, which was free from Antares, but I paid $50 for it. I don't know if it's still free. But the cool thing about it is, again, if I remove all of the reverb and delay, which is the basic stuff. Believe in something. You know, again, I can turn off the choir. Believe in something. Why not believe in... So that's how it sounds like, right? But now with the choir. Believe in something. Believe in something. So pretty much just duplicating my voice multiple times. I've set it to 16 times, 16 voices. And then it's modulating the pitch, the timing, and then adding vibrato. So you can say it's modulating the pitch and messing with the timing. And then from there, stereo spread, panning left and right on these guys that are getting modulated because they sound slightly different to give that width. And I think it sounds really cool. Believe in something. Why not believe in my preset? Okay. Believe. Let's turn it on. Believe in something. From there, just really basic reverb, delay. Believe in something. Now, this type of delay, I call it the techno delay, and I made a little short story if you want to look for it in my channel. But the whole idea of it is that you pretty much have a delay that's very fast. 1/32 is very fast with a high feedback, which creates this really cool believe in something techno effect. Yeah, we don't want that to get too loud. But again, if we can even put it like maybe unsick it a bit so you can see how it sounds like. Just shift this a bit. Believe in something. Why not believe in my presets, bitch? You got to believe in something. And it creates this sort of, especially when you use like drums, you can definitely hear like the techno effect. It's heavily used, so the vocals are going to have that. And again, it helps sell the effects, so why not use it, right? Believe in something. Believe in something. Why not believe in my presets? Again, without the choir thing. Believe in something. Why not believe in my preset? Okay, so you can kind of see how it helps create that. It's techno delay. From there, I just have the delay, again, a chain. And then for that really catchy part, which I feel sells the track, and do you want to believe in something? Why not believe in me? Me. Do you have like this me? Again, usually a return track is going to be the best bet to get that to work, because then you can automate the part that you wanted to repeat instead of delaying everything. Believe in something. So here's a return track where we're going to be running Echo Boy. I just have this very standard patch. And again, it's at 100%. When you're using a return track, you can right click to insert it. And then from there in Ableton, you can automate the send again. So I believe we're going to be over here. And then you just show the automation. You can see here. Believe in something. Why not believe in my presets, bitch? You've got to believe in something. evilsounds.com. Support your boy. And again, that's going to help create like that little delay that you hear. We've reached the part of the video that most of you guys are going to skip because most of you don't care about creating downlifters or uplifters. But there is a noise shot that occurs in the track in the section that I decided to use for a little Walmart remake. Okay, and the way that it works is pretty simple. We just use Serum with bright white noise, a band pass, and there is a bit of a modulation that occurs, I believe, on the cutoff, which is going to make it sound like. And that's the cool thing about learning to make your own effects, uplifters, downlifters, noise, blast, is the fact that you can automate them to fit your track. And again, it's little things like this that make the biggest of differences. And it's a very simple sound to make. You use a bright white, then you use a bandpass 12 filter. From there, you can choose to use other ones. Let's say you want a very big, then yeah, you use a bandpass, and it's the way that you EQ it. Again, very simple. You can do it high resonance. You can do a lot of really cool stuff that way. And then you do have the reverb. And again, just cut it. It's the way you EQ it when it comes to the noise. All right, guys, and that is going to be the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoy learning about Eli Brown. Like I said, I'm leaving timestamps so you can jump around so I don't waste your time. But other than that, if you want to support the channel, make sure to head over to evilsounds.com where you can find all of my sound design work. The Paradox, the Kraken, and the Karma series is what you want to look at if you're making techno and are looking for some really good Serum presets that a lot of thought have been put to them. They're all going to contain modules for you to add variation, and I promise you they're very heavily used in the scene. With that being said, guys, I'll catch you guys next time for another video. You guys take care, much love, and Eli Brown, please don't sue your boy. This is a Dollar Tree Walmart remake. I ain't stealing none of your market share with this. I'm just helping producers learn from the track that you've created, which is an amazing track. I love you. Peace, much respect.